Hello and welcome to my new screencast series called Getting Started with Seblod. In this first tutorial we're going to be looking at how to create a custom content type with Seblod, which is a content construction kit for the popular content management system Joomla. Before we begin, I think it's important that you create a new category for all your content to go into, and for this tutorial I'm going to be creating an online repository for authors and the books that they publish, so I've created a new Joomla category called Author. When you go into the Form and Content Type Manager, you can click the New button up the top here and use the article as the skeleton template. And what that does is it pulls in a whole bunch of default fields from Joomla which can be used as the base of your new content type. So as I mentioned before, this content type is going to be called Author. And I created a category before, and so I'm going to make sure that all of my content is stored in that category by clicking this number 2 down here and selecting my author category from the list here. Now these pop up because it's the article category ID field. Obviously if I click the article state, the list of available options are different, so make sure you do that under category ID. And because I want all content to go into that category, I'm going to hide it because we don't want anyone changing that. Right, now we need to create the fields that are for my content type. So if I click Add Field, the first field that I'm going to add is Author Type, and that's going to be a multiple select box with some predefined fields. And those predefined fields are going to be ebook, non-fiction, fiction, and educational. And I'll put the label in there as well. And if you click Save and Close, that'll automatically add into your content type. The next field I'll create is the author description, which will be a text area field. This is for any biographic information about the author that you want to add in. Text area. There it is. And we need to change the max length to something large and make sure that all the new lines are defined by paragraphs. We'll click Save and Close. The third is going to be an image upload field. So we can add a picture of our author's face. And we're going to store them in the Images Author folder. And there are a few parameters around here that you can change around. So if you want to create multiple different versions of the same image, cropped and resized and that sort of thing, when you upload them, you can set those parameters here. But for now we'll just use the defaults. And the final field that I'm going to add is an external link to the author's website. And you can play with those parameters if you want, but I'm going to use the defaults. Right, once you're happy with that, click Save, and those fields are now going to be visible in the Joomla backend when you create a new author. But we also want to make sure that some fields are visible in the front end so we can actually see the content that we enter. So we'll add all of these in. And if you want to go and get any of the other Joomla fields, you can just click on All App Folders and you'll get the list down here. So if you wanted to add the article title, for some reason you could do that, but we're just going to leave this as is. I've just seen that I've forgotten to put in the label for author website, so I'll just add that. And I also want to just change around the layout of this page. So what I'll do is in the default Seblod template there's all of these different positions that you can use, and what I want is my image to appear here in the left B position and the rest of my content to appear in the top body position. So I'll enable the left hand column by going into the template settings and clicking setting 150 pixels for the left hand column width and 0 pixels for the right hand column width, because I don't want any far right column, and I'll click Save. And then I'll drag the author image down into the left B position and click Save and Close. So now when we go into the Joomla article manager and we hover over the New button, we can add a new author. And we get our custom content layout in the back end. So I'm going to add an author called James Morrell. And he's going to be an ebook and an educational author, so I can hold Control and select educational as well. I'll put some dummy text in here. Just for now, upload an image and provide a link to the website. Link is obviously for the hyperlink, and text is for whatever text you want to be displayed as the hyperlink. I'm going to use the full link name. Now when we go into our menu, we can just add a single article page like we would regularly in Joomla to display the page that we've just created. And now if we view the front end of our site, you can see our menu item, and our content is here like we defined it in the content view in Seblod. So that's the real basics of how to use Seblod and how to create a new content type. In the next tutorial we'll look at how to create a list type based on this custom content that we've just created. Thanks, and I hope that was helpful.